Welcome to Golden Tales and Trails. I'm SJ and I'm here along with my golden girls, Skye and Daisy, to help you lose weight, get fit and stay motivated through running and canicross. Whether you're completely new, getting back into fitness or looking for inspiration, this podcast is your dose of support, simple advice and fun on the trails. So grab your dog, lace up those trainers and let's get moving together. Hey friend, welcome back to today's episode. I'm your host SJ and I am here alongside my two golden girls, Skye and Daisy, who are currently on the sofa snoring their heads off. And I can't blame them because it's December. The weather is pretty shocking, but I do want to say a massive well done to my Canicross club this weekend. The weather was pretty awful, but everybody showed up. We had a great time. The dogs got absolutely covered in mud and we got somewhat damp, but our reward at the end of it was a really lovely hot cup of hot chocolate. I always make sure I bring some hot water and hot chocolate for my team because it really is such a lovely reward at the end of a somewhat soggy run. Now, the reason I'm talking about this is because I really want to acknowledge to you that December is a hard month. December is a hard month if you are on a health and fitness journey. I imagine that you have quite a lot in your calendar. You've probably got a lot of social engagements. There's an awful lot of food going around. And if you're on a weight loss journey, then the temptation of the chocolates and the cheese and the wine and everything is definitely real. And as a personal trainer, I just want to acknowledge this because I know when I have worked with people in the past that this time of year is challenging. Your diary is busy, you are busy, and your priorities change. And that's normal, that is life. But one of the great things that I have found since becoming a Canicross coach is that Canicrossers will still turn up in December. And the reason why Canicrossers are so committed is because not only are they accountable to themselves for showing up, they are also accountable to their dog. Now, as dog owners and dog lovers, our dogs are really important to us. Their health, their well-being is really important to us. And one of the not so secrets around Canicross is that you are accountable to your dog. And your dog is probably very good, like mine are, at giving you those big sad eyes because they want to go out even when the weather is horrible like it is now and it's cold and it's wet. They still need to go out. And this is why canicrossing really is such a great sport in terms of being consistent with your health and your fitness, because you are accountable to your dog as well as to yourself. And when you run as a group, like my canicrossers do, not only are you accountable to yourself, your dog, you are also accountable to the group, the friends that you make through Canicross, and also to the fact that you have paid to show up to that class. And when you are on a health and fitness journey or a weight loss journey, that consistency and that accountability is what is going to bring you success. Now, today's episode, I want to talk about something that I referred to in the last episode, which is called the Golden Trio. And this is something that I think is really important because Canicross really is just so much more than running with your dog. But I think there are three really key benefits to Canicross, and in today's episode I want to dig into them in more detail in the hope that this is going to give you a little bit more motivation if you're struggling through the December months. Or if you haven't tried Canicross before, it's going to give you the motivation to maybe go and click the link in the show notes to book a taster session online with me as well. So I refer to these three benefits as the Golden Trio. And we'll start with the first one, which I think is really, really key. This is about bonding. It's about you and your dog building a deeper connection. Like, you love your dog, of course you do. But Canicross really can strengthen the bond that you have between you and your dog. And it really can happen in such a lovely, beautiful, natural way. On Sunday mornings or when I'm out on my own with Skye, there really is nothing better than that feeling that you have running through the woods when it's like a cold, crisp morning, the sun's shining through the trees, your dog is like having the best time of their life, feeling the wind in their face, and you are surrounded by beautiful countryside and you are surrounded by some really lovely people. And in those moments, you really can feel that something has clicked between you and your dog. You're working as a team, like you're communicating together, you're trusting each other, you're learning each other's cues as well, and you're creating a connection that really does go beyond the daily walk that you do around near where you live. And think about it like this, particularly with canicrossing, because canicrossing, your dog is out in front of you and your dog is trusting you. You're trusting your dog. Your cues and your commands that you've trained your dog to respond to are so important, and the dog can feel you on the end of that bungee line, and you can feel your dog at the end of that bungee line, and it's just such a great bonding experience. You're enjoying the time together, you're having a lot of fun. A couple of months ago, when I took Skye into her first Canicross race, it just clicked. Like, the start line went well, the race went well, we went past a few people and she did amazing in that, and then we crossed that finishing line, and it just felt that we together had just done such an amazing team effort. And one of the things that I always find with my groups is that about week 4 of the beginners course, so I run a beginners course, an in-person beginners course that's 6 weeks long. And I normally find about week 4, which is when I get the group to do like a slightly longer run, that they start to click. Like, their dog gets it, they get it, and the smiles and the happiness that comes from that I can see in the humans, but also the dogs, because they're just having a really, really wonderful time, is so, so joyful. This weekend, I was teaching my beginners group how to do the start line of a Canicross race. And there's a couple of different ways that you can do that. And we were practicing it. And it was so lovely when you could just see it work. When you could see the dogs looking at their owners, looking for the cues, looking for the commands, and it just worked. And they would go from the start line, run a short section, and then they would give the dog loads and loads of praise and some treats. And it was just so wonderful to see that this click into place. And everybody was so happy and felt so accomplished. And it's just so nice. Like, I keep saying so, but it really is just wonderful. Seeing people go from the start of the taster session when I first meet them to the end of that 6 weeks, where they have built their confidence, their dog is confident, and they really have built a really wonderful bond with their dog in Canicross. So that's the first of my Golden Trio benefits. The second one is fitness. And as a personal trainer, I have always found that what is important is finding a way for you to move your body, to exercise in a way that you are going to find really accessible and that you're going to be consistent with. And Canicross honestly is one of the easiest, most low-cost sports that you can try. And as I said earlier, the accountability that you have is to your dog. So that means that you are going to be consistent with that. And any kind of exercise that is accessible and something that you're consistent with is going to be successful. And Canicross really is that, because you don't need loads and loads of fancy gear to start, and you don't need to be a runner already, and you don't need to do huge long training sessions. It is just you, your dog, some comfy kit, which I was talking about in the previous episode, and I will link my discount code to the DogFit website if you want to grab yourself some kit. And it's you in the great outdoors. And it's just so accessible, so convenient, and it's something that you really can be consistent with. And it really is, again, when I talk about consistency and I talk about convenience, if you are somebody who wants to lose weight, maybe you're trying to build your strength and your resilience, maybe you know that you want to get outside a bit more and get outside year round, you really, Canicross is such a great sport for that, because it's going to be something that you're consistent with, and it is our dogs who are motivating us, but they are holding us accountable. My dog Skye, when I go, she knows when I'm putting my clothes on for us to go canicrossing. I can see it in her face. Like, she knows the particular clothes that I put on when we are going to go canicrossing. I have certain jumpers, certain trousers, certain like layers that I put on that I don't wear, like to go running on the treadmill. So she knows when we're going to go. And she knows where her harness is, where my running belt is. And you can just see like this excitement and expectation in her face. And you can see how much she enjoys it. And her enjoyment is also what gives me enjoyment. And also, because you know that your dog is enjoying it, you're going to do it more because it's benefiting them and they're having so much fun. And it actually means that this isn't about you anymore. And that's the really great thing about this process. Like, particularly if you're on a health and fitness journey and you want to lose weight, or you've got a goal that you want to achieve in running, for example. This is why canicrossing is so good, because it's not just you that's going out the front door. Your dog is like so excited to go, and you might be thinking, oh my gosh, I really don't want to go running. But your dog is literally there wagging their tail, thinking this is like the best moment of their life. And you just cannot fail to take that enthusiasm and joy that dogs have and take it on yourself. And it's like having your own personal trainer, but with 4 legs and a wet nose. Now, not only is this a benefit to you in terms of your health, your fitness, maybe your weight loss, this is also something that is potentially going to benefit your dog in the same way as well. There are a lot of dogs out there who are overweight, and Canicross is a sport that is extremely accessible for all dogs, all shapes, all sizes, and it's something that's more interesting than their daily walk. It's something that is going to help them if you are consistent with it as well. It's something that is going to help them to lose weight as well. And we all know, like from a human and from an animal perspective, that when you are a healthy weight, you are less likely to suffer with other health conditions and other health problems. From a human perspective, if you are overweight, you're more likely to suffer with things like diabetes, cardiovascular disease. You are potentially going to struggle with backache and things like that. And whilst I'm not a vet, I would imagine that your dog is the same. So the healthier, the more active, the fitter your dog is, the longer their life is going to be, and the better it's going to be potentially for reducing any potential health conditions that they might have in the future. Okay, let's talk about Golden Trio, and number 3 is behavior wellbeing. A happier, calmer, more focused dog. Now, in the last episode, I shared a story about my dog Rosie, who was a rescue dog, and how Canicross really benefited her and her challenges that she faced when I got her as a young puppy, and how Canicross actually meant that she was so much happier, so much calmer, and a dog that was then focused enough that I could train her to take her into schools. So that really is like a complete turnaround when you think about it, going from a dog who was being rehomed because she was not happy in a home environment. She wasn't getting the attention. She wasn't getting her needs met. And a dog that was very frustrated, very anxious. I then ended up, through the running and the canicross that I did with Rosie, I ended up with a dog that was happy and calm enough for me to take her into schools and to use her to demonstrate things like agility and dog care with young and with children of all different ages. And this is often something that beginners really are surprised by, because canicross really doesn't just work your dog physically, it really exercises their brain. And a dog who has a job, a really clear purpose, and a way to channel their energy naturally becomes calmer, more focused and more relaxed at home. And this is something that the group often finds, is that we meet for an hour, the beginners group, we meet for an hour and we practice different drills, we practice running together, and they will say to me that their dogs are genuinely tired after the session. And we probably have not covered the kind of distance that some of them will run, like if they're out for a walk with their owners, but they're having to use their brain. They're having to process like different commands. They're having to process being around other dogs. They're having to, think about what the human's doing on the end of the line. And it really does mean that you end up with a dog who is very relaxed at home. And honestly, all of this is good for us too. We know that exercise and moving our bodies is really, really good for us as humans. So you are likely to be happier, calmer, and more focused. And if you're someone who does struggle with anxiety, maybe you struggle to get to sleep, Canicross really can help you, because you're going to go out into the fresh air with your dog and you're going to exercise. It's like the perfect combination to help with symptoms of anxiety and depression that humans can struggle with. And if you're sitting here listening to me and you're thinking, okay, Sarah Jane, I get it. It's really good. I could really benefit from this. My dog and I could benefit from this. You can book an online taster session with me. This is perfect for beginners. We'll spend some time online on Zoom together and we'll chat about your kit, we'll chat about safety and about how you can get started in the right way. And if you want to book that, the link is in the show notes. Okay, so we've covered the 3 parts of the Golden Trio, but I think from a beginner's perspective, the Golden Trio really does matter if you are coming into the sport completely new, because this is the foundation of everything that I teach. Because Canicross, it isn't about how far you go or how fast you go or the races you do. Those things are great, but this isn't why we do it. Canicross really is about building that relationship with your dog. It's about improving your well-being, your health, your fitness, your mental health, but it's also about helping your dog to thrive as well. And you're doing this all at the same time. There are countless examples across my communities, the dog fit community, which is international, of examples of dogs where we've had nervous dogs who have gained in confidence, where owners feel really proud of themselves and what they've achieved in terms of their health and their fitness, and all of these really wonderful shared adventures. And this really wonderful feeling when you see a group of people who show up on a beginner's course and get to know each other over the period of 6 weeks, and the friendships that you make through Canicross and the conversations that you have as you're out walking your dog in the woods really, really are just so wonderful and so joyful. So I've been doing Canicross for a really long time, and when we left Dorset and moved to Shropshire 18 months ago, it was a really difficult thing for us to do as a family because we didn't know anybody in the area. And that was why I decided to bring Canicross to the area in Shropshire where I live, because not only was it going to be a really nice thing for me to do in terms of obviously running my own business as a personal trainer, but also, and somewhat selfishly if you like, I knew it was going to be a way for me to make some new friends. It really has been so much fun getting to know these wonderful people and their dogs, and for us to show up every week together as a group. And I love to see how they start their beginner's course and then transition into the social runs, like the change in confidence, the changes in fitness, the friendships that they make with each other is just so special. So if you haven't started yet, this is definitely your time. If you would love some support getting started, or you want some help maybe choosing the right harness and kit for your dog, you can book that online taster session with me. It's a really brilliant first step to find out about this wonderful sport. I think this is one of the most important things when it comes to any sport, is making sure that that first step that you can take as a beginner is really easy and really simple. And I think that is one of the things that really does make the wider dog fit community really stand out, because people often come to me and say, I want to try Canicross. I've been to other clubs, but it's really intimidating. Everybody's really good and everyone has to start somewhere. And I think that really is one of the most important things that I do, is helping you to have the confidence to take that first step. And that's what we do in the taster session. The link to the taster session is in the show notes. We will jump on Zoom together and we will chat about kits, safety, and how to get started in the right way. I really hope you found this episode helpful today. If you did, please go and leave me a 5-star written review on iTunes. Maybe share this podcast episode with a friend who has a dog, so that more dog owners can enjoy this really wonderful sport of Canicross. Have an amazing week, enjoy the trails, and I will catch you in the next episode. Thanks for joining me and, of course, Skye and Daisy on Golden Tales and Trails. Remember, I am here to help you lose weight, get fit, and stay motivated on your running and Canicross journey. You're not doing this alone. If this episode made you smile, gave you a boost, or helped you feel less stuck, share it with a friend who might love it too. And if you're ready for the next step, a taster session or the beginner's course, the links are waiting in the show notes. Keep moving, keep believing, and we'll see you on the next trail.